In over 20 years of doing unemployment research, I've had many job seekers come and talk to me about what it's like to be an older worker, being unemployed and looking for a job. And they've told me tales of being interviewed by individuals who are about their children's ages and not understanding how much they have to contribute, and people telling them that they have to dye their hair, and getting advice to lop off years of experience off of their resumes. And when you look at the literature, there hasn't been a lot of in-depth conversation about what happens as a person age and how does it affect their unemployment duration and outcomes, and that's what we took an in-depth look at in this study. The first thing we set out to do with this study is to look at really how strong is a relationship between age and how quickly people find jobs. And we chose to use a method called meta-analysis, and so we collected all the available studies across the world in English-speaking journals that have been conducted in this study on this topic, and we also pulled data from the U.S. Displaced Worker Survey, and we find fairly convincing and robust evidence that there's a relationship between your age and how quickly you find a job. And in particular, what we find is this seems to hit around age 50, and a person who's over the age of 50 is likely to be unemployed for about 5.8 weeks longer than a person who's, let's say, between the ages of 30 and 49. And also what we're able to do with our evidence is we're able to say, well, is this relationship primarily during certain years? Is it primarily when unemployment rates are high? Does it primarily hold in certain regions of the world? And we find that the negative relationship between age and reemployment speed is pretty robust across all different conditions, with the exception that it tends to be a little stronger when an unemployment rate is high. As part of our study, we went back and said, what really explains this relationship between age and reemployment outcomes? So there's a lot of variability in how individuals age, and so and a lot of individuals think that everything has to do with age discrimination. And there are a lot of factors that point towards discrimination playing a role in people's job search. But there's a lot of other things happening as well. And so we develop a model to show all the different factors that are underlying all the different factors that play a role as an individual ages and how that plays into their job search. Older workers should realize that they will find a job. It just may take a little bit longer, and they should really try to clearly understand their particular situation and how it may play a role in their particular job search.